Like our videos? Why not play our games? Learn more about incursion and ascension at gungamersproductions.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm Cory from Gun Gamers, and today we're going to be talking about Caspian Strike, which happened in December 8th of 2022. And yeah, let's dive into it. Just for the record, this was my 10th MilSim West event, and though I do work for MilSim West, I was not working at this game. And I was also not going with a bunch of my friends that I normally play with, like Eric and Matt and Jim and Steve and the Gun Gamers crew. Instead, I went with some of my buddies from Task Force Keg in the Southeast, and there were only about 5 of us, and we got put into Robert's Ragnars, which is a modern 2022 Ranger impression group. And I don't know if you know about these guys, but they're awesome. They are super intelligent. They're very well educated in tactics, and they know how to implement all of the tools and assets that are available to them. And they also look really good, and they're physically impressive, and they run really fast, and they run everywhere they go, and they're just crazy. It's awesome. If you get a chance to ever roll with them, you should. If you ever have to play against them, I'm sorry. It was a great time. So let's dive into it a little bit more. So I flew down to this event, which is a pain in the ass. I didn't buy my ticket until last minute, and that's my fault. So I flew Frontier, and just so you know, Frontier has bag limits, and they will charge you out the ass for weight. So, like I said, I went with Task Force Keg. Because of the weight requirements, the quickest way that I could lose 20 pounds was by ditching the IOTV. I went with my N-Gauge test bed plate carrier in Ranger Green and just put multicam pouches on it. Everyone thought I was wearing an MBAV. And suddenly I could run plates at a MilSim West and not have to be charged so much from Frontier. So that was good. I didn't fly with my gun, also to save costs. So I ended up borrowing my buddy Tyler Peplinski's VFC Avalon SOP mod rifle with a Kythera and UGS stock on it. And that thing ran like a dream. Semi-locked mechanical trigger, no batteries, just CO2 in the stock with the 33 grams, and that is the way to do these games if you can as a rifleman, is with some type of air stock like that. It's the best way to do it. And so I think I was walking into this game, even without the IOTV, probably about 75 pounds of gear between my plates, my helmet, and my rucksack, and my small assault bag. And the initial ruck in at Guardian Centers was super easy. We actually only rucked maybe half a mile, maybe 3/4 with our gear. And then we ditched it. And our initial insert was pretty awesome. Probably about 30 minutes we got ambushed. And we absolutely destroyed that first ambush. And that was really cool. So I was a gun team leader on Rob Ragg's weapon squad, and all of our machine gunners had tracers, and man, that is so much fun. Just to see where the BBs are going. It's so much easier to direct if you have tracers and a laser. It's fantastic. And this was just north of the power station where we got ambushed. So in the southern region of the map, before you get to the city, there's a small substation. I ended up getting hit twice in that initial ambush. I was like the only guy to get hit twice. It's ridiculous. I hate my life. But here's the interesting thing about that. So normally, if you wear plates and a ballistic helmet at MilSim West, you get 2 tourniquets. So this is probably the reason for this video is guys who are wearing plates did not get a second tourniquet to start this game. You had to earn them. And this is one of the reasons why I think this is the highest quality MilSim West game I've ever been to, despite how I felt there. We had to earn those. So our first mission was to secure a downed pilot who would help us go and secure a hospital, a primary care facility. And if we capture that, then we would get our second tourniquets as plate carrier users. And the thing to remember is Guardian Center is an urban game. So there's very few people who are not wearing plates. Like I think in our platoon, we had one guy not wearing plates. And so we really wanted those because in urban combat, you need those extra tourniquets. Actually, another platoon beat us to the down pilot. And if we got that down pilot, who was a cadre role player, he would give us the password to ATAC. So ATAC is a phone app that you use on Apples and Androids, mostly Androids because Apples suck with that app. It's just the way it is with iTac or CivTac, whatever you want to call it. Once we got him, we got the password so we could use that and see each other. 5th Platoon beat us there, and we ended up getting that the next morning or the next night. Weapons Squad had to cover this area where they were going to pick up the pilot for 5th Platoon, and that was cool. That went well. And then we went and we decided to take 2 huge buildings to the south west of the city. There's a 3-story and a 2-story, and the 3-story is absolutely massive. It's probably one of the biggest on the field. It's super tall. It's a CTA shoot house, like covered training area shoot house that they use there for training. And it's where we were last year for 2021. It's a good building, had electricity and everything. We assaulted that, so Weapon Squad basically just aimed at the top windows so the assaulters could hit the first floor. And we got in there, cleared it pretty quick, not too much resistance. But in the second building, the 2-story that we moved to after taking the 3-story, we got in some pretty heavy contact, and it took us maybe 15 minutes to 30 minutes to take that building. So the next day, we decide that we're going to take, of course, the same 2 buildings that we tried to take last year. And at this point, we still don't have our second tourniquets. So that means to us that we didn't take the hospital that we needed. And this is really the only engagement where we didn't do well. Is at about 10 o'clock, we went in the city, we tried to take some buildings, and it was pretty much a stalemate. I mean, we had about 2 squads in there trying to take this 3-story of the boxing gym, if you know. And I'm in the top floor, and who do I see fucking running across the road? Oh, it's goddamn Sean Prosen from MilSim West and his guys. So of course, it's not going to be a good time. I mean, it was fun, but we ended up pulling out of there. We just took too many casualties and went back to our fob.
They're going to be coming around.
And at this point, this is where I started to film. I don't know how good the footage is going to be, but I hope that you can at least see a little bit of the experience and what everyone looked like and how much Justin is a monster of a man and how awesome the field was. So we got back and at the fob, and pretty much we got told, hey, this is it for ammo for today, so don't shoot anything because you're just going to waste it. And we've got a pretty cool night raid planned for the night. So they're like, just go to sleep, do whatever you want to do. Let me tell you, I slept for like 5 hours in the daytime, and that is the way to do it at MilSim West. Sleep in the day, fight at night if you have night vision. And the guys who don't have night vision, you fight in the day and you sleep at night. That's the way to do it. You know, BB War stuff. Great time. So I was able to eat, sleep, and prep all my gear. You know, get ready, get the night vision out, do all that stuff. I want to talk about sleeping real quick at this event. In urban games, I find it best to pack as compact as possible. So I did not bring a sleeping mat for this game. Here is the hack. If you have a whoopee, fold that whoopee into quarters so it's torso sized, and you have something that's arguably as warm as a sleeping mat. Not as padded, but I was so warm. And that was the only blanket that I brought for myself was the bivy and the whoopee. And I laid out the bivy, put the whoopee on top, folded up. And then as my blanket, so to speak, I had a USGI smoker's jacket, which is an M65 field jacket liner. and it's the same material as a whoopee, and I just draped that over my head to keep the light out of my face, and I slept like a fucking champ. So after a good sleepy nappy times, we do this assault, and it's fucking incredible. Like the coordination and the planning that Rob Rag uses, and they were so gracious enough to let us into that and see that and learn from them, was incredible. Basically, they had these things called speedballs. And what a speedball is, if you're in the military, you know exactly what it is. But if you are not, a speedball is basically an assault pack that's full of just ammo and water and sustainment gear. So we had like 4 of these speedballs with all of the platoon's ammo in these speedballs. So if you caught us in the rear, you would have had like fucking 10,000 rounds. It was insane. Tons of ammo, tons of water. And what we would do is 3 squads would assault a building. The weapons squad would overwatch that building. And the 3 squads would take the building, clear the whole thing. They would go back down to the first floor. The weapons squad would go up in the second or third story of that, or third floor of that building, and then put eyes on the next building and just dump as much ammo as possible into the windows with tracers and lasers. And any heads or lights that we saw, our squad leader would put a laser on it and we'd fucking take it. And as we're shooting at the second and third floors, or second floor, assault teams would be hitting the first floor. So while the poor bastards in those buildings are dealing with us assholes with machine guns, they also had the problem is, oh fuck, someone's coming up my staircase now. It was incredible. And we basically did that through the entire eastern side of the city. So we did all that, made a lot of people angry, a lot of PBs got moved on the Rustport side, and we decided to go back. So we go back, and obviously I'm not filming at night because I'm not that experienced, but it was pretty great to see those tactics work. Like actual weapons squads maneuvering and doing that shit is incredible. So that's what support by fire is. I'd always heard that word and never truly seen it work in an urban environment like that, and I really enjoyed it. It's also worth mentioning that at that time we had finally gotten our second tourniquets, and we finally had ATAC. I wasn't on ATAC much as this because I was a team leader, and I simply do not need it that much. I did use it once, and it did prevent us from a friendly fire incident. Thank God. That's why ATAC is so great, so you don't shoot your own dudes. And those second tourniquets definitely came in handy. It's pretty great. We did get ambushed on our way out, and it was hilarious to watch a whole platoon just run into a building that only 2 people were in. It was pretty aggressive. But anyways, so I think the reason why we had this sort of slow, methodical unlock style with side missions to make the game better was more of a balancing thing. What I heard is Rustport didn't have as many people. I mean, there clearly weren't many left at the end. During the AAR, it didn't seem like there were that many compared to us. But the reason why they did it is to balance, right? Like if another if another group is outnumbered, then the best way that the game themselves, the game designers can make it more even is to take away their tourniquets. So that is common sense, but what it does for the gameplay is amazing. It made every mission feel like life or death. It basically, if you don't have a second tourniquet, you're going to have a bad time in urban environments. I mean, unless you're like fucking Keanu Reeves or some shit, but you're not. You're an airsofter, and the guns only shoot 30 feet. Sorry. I suck at this airsoft thing. But anyways, it just made the gameplay feel great. Not that I ever really get bored at MilSim West, and I don't get bored of the experiences, especially when you're around Matt Lutz. He's super funny. And Jim, who's adorable, and Eric, who's hardcore. But anyways, yeah, it's a great time. It's better with more stuff to do. When you're just going into the game and you're fighting the enemy, that is awesome. It's so much fun. You're trying to take ground. That's awesome, and MilSim West does it the best in that terms. But what makes the games even more fun is seeing different things like that happen. Like, oh, we got to find a fucking down pilot. I don't know. That doesn't really happen at MilSim West. Oh, also, you have to start your maneuvers for the entire game with no fucking awesome land navigation device. Well, pull out that map and compass, buddy, or I hope you know where you're going. Because you're not using ATAC. And for someone like me who really relies on ATAC to do a lot of land nav because I'm a fucking pogue, it's the best. Without it, it's like, cool, I'm blind now. Good. So I hope to see more from MilSim West in terms of side missions and unlock style things at the games, because it makes it great. And MilSim West has already been innovative enough, and to see them continue to innovate is both great as a consumer, because far before I'm staff at MilSim West, I am a consumer. And I will always be a consumer, even if I no longer work there for some reason. I love it. You should love it too. You should try it out. If you like those kinds of games, then you should check out Gun Gamers Productions, because we do some pretty badass shit. And we've always done games like that. We've always had very intricately designed stuff, even when we were running local games. But if you'd like to see more, go to MilSim West, go to Gun Gamers Productions. If you've got kids and you can't spend 3 days away from home, come check us out too. And yeah, that's about all I have. I hope you enjoy what little gameplay footage I did get. You can expect more from me for doing that shit, because I really enjoy filming and I like capturing the moments. So yeah, expect more, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Nice. Yay!
Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. Check the description below if you'd like to buy a t-shirt or a patch, and use the coupon code JUDY10 for 10% off of your next order at Amped Airsoft. Thank you again for watching, and praise Judy.